everybody, it's Brentwood here. Just thought I'd show you the one of the next projects up. This is going to be an 8-foot beer shelf. Going to go in a basement in Indiana. And it's some more of the black walnut that came out of Nebraska. We're going to have some nice figures going in here, do some liquid metal pour in this end, and then we're going to do some pretty exciting epoxy stuff, probably some metal flakes or something along in it. It's going to come down, and then it's got an angled wall on the other end. So this is going to be quite a piece. Getting ready to cut the outside measurements, and then we'll confer some more with the customers, but they've already approved the slab, and now they will just be sending me some of the stuff that they would like to have included in the epoxy. We've already talked about doing an aluminum metal pour in this end, so it's going to be pretty cool. So anyway, sorry about that. That's my air compressor. The old boy that had the sawmill that did this slab must have had a dull blade, because it did a lot of up and down and wandering clear through, but it just means a little bit more. At least he cut it really thick. That's the best thing about it. But as you can see, this side's touching and that side isn't. So we've definitely got some flattening to do. But when it gets done, it's going to be a beautiful bar shelf. This is the bottom. Top's going to be even prettier. Can't wait till we get into this stuff over here. Just the colors and everything that's coming out is black walnut's the best, man, I'm telling you. I had a bark inclusion on the back side of the beer shelf that I'm doing, and so it didn't go clear through. It just spanned out kind of a horizontal flat ways into here, and so there was a little bit of bark in there that I couldn't get. The bubbles are going to keep coming and popping. But anyway, I wanted to make sure that it was filled up and the table was going to be nice and plenty solid when we got done. So just went with some Mix-All, I don't know, 10-12 drops to give us a nice jet black epoxy. Going to work out great. Just getting things lined up to pour the beer shelf table. This is only going to get poured into the rotten type of area. We've got very good wood down there. I filled in a bark inclusion down there, but it didn't go clear through. So anyway, I've got it all caulked off and everything, and now I'm ready to let it down in the form and finish doing the end. So this is kind of the easiest way I know how to do it. And then we'll show you a little more progress when we get ready to pour, and going to do a wave effect in it. I had a lot of communications with the customer on colors that they wanted for the epoxy in the river table. They sent me some tiles out of colors that they wanted, and this picture shows how I got the colors to match pretty spot on and got them the colors that they wanted to go in their ocean scene. Just wanted to show you that I made a backsplash to go on the beer shelf. And since there's epoxy and wood all together, I used alignment pins to keep the shelf and the backsplash all uniform, so there would not have to be any gluing or anything like that. I'll just go ahead and screw from underneath, go right up in it. It'll pull it down tight and it'll all be ready to go. So, getting ready to finish. Yay! As you can see, there is a lot of worm damage in this black walnut that I'm doing the beer shelf for. So I thought, I'm using Rubio Monocoat, and I had to find a new way to try to get all of that down in there, and I had to go to a brush to get it down in there. So eventually I go ahead and I rub it with my finger and get it rubbed in, let it soak while I'm going ahead and getting more of the wormholes filled up. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'll take air pressure and blow the remaining Rubio out of the worm trails, and so it will dry a lot faster, because the accelerant is when you have too much accelerant and too much stain together, pigment, it tends to dry slow. So that is my plan. Don't know that I've seen any of the Rubio deals how-tos do this, so I guess I'm going to post this and show how I kind of overcame all of this with all of these wormholes and everything. But it looks like it's going on real well. The customer chose the charcoal color, and it's really making it dark, but once I go ahead and buff it all off and everything, you can see the grain and the dark coloring of it. So I'll show you that when I do the top, but this is the backsplash that I'm doing now. I'll show you more about how the grain and everything comes out on that one. Here I started with a base color. I poured black so it wouldn't be a transparent through a little bit. Then I did white epoxy over the top just to give a base color underneath before I started pouring the blues. As you can see with this picture, you'll notice that the epoxy goes clear out to the edge that'll go underneath the backsplash. I chose this piece of backsplash to emulate the look of a mountain scene off in the distance beyond the ocean scene. So I think it turned out real well. It really kind of looks like the mountains on the backside of an ocean. As you can see, when I crate up my projects, I tend to overbuild, but to me there's no such thing as overpacking a precious piece of furniture or a project that you've made for a customer that expects to get it in good condition when it arrives. So I use 2x6s on the sides, pallets underneath. It's forklift friendly. Nothing ever penetrates it, and it's always weather tight if it happens to sit out on a dock. So I spend a lot of time crating and making sure that my projects arrive safely to their customer. Once this beer shelf arrived, the customers got a contractor to help them put it up. We did a lot of communication back and forth, measured exactly where the studs were on the wall, the angles, and there is a ledger board underneath that I already had drilled and that I'd already drilled for anchors. I sent the screws along to attach it to the wall. It went very smoothly, and the contractor was quite impressed that somebody built something that fit into the space nice and filled into the space really tightly and looks very good. Customers were quite happy.